Welcome into another episode of Behind the Mic and the SEC. This week we are covering Florida, joined by Cliff. Cliff, nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
I'm great. So let's just get started. Tell me how you started your career in TV.
Yeah, no, for sure. So when I was a kid, I always loved talking about some sports, and I had to play some sports as well. But fortunately, that didn't last long, so I just switched into more talking about it. And over time, I just did it, and I had a good feeling about it, and I just kept on going. Went to UCF, graduated, and it took a while, but I got a job here at CBS4 as a sports reporter, and just loving the journey so far. Loving the journey so far for it.
So I'm guessing sports reporting is something that you always wanted to do.
Yeah, for sure. There were some times where I was like, should I do this? But again, my love for sport just kept me plowing through it, and I just loved it. Yeah, ever since.
So is this your first job in the business?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Tell me what you love about covering the SEC and covering the University of Florida.
Well, just definitely the atmosphere over there. It's just for me, like going into the swamp or like going to the O'Connell Center, the atmosphere is just so different. Fans are so passionate, and you can just see like they really want their team to succeed and win, and just in general, it's just a fun atmosphere to be a part of. And I'm just so blessed to be in that position and just getting the chance to cover some Florida sports.
And you graduating from UCF, obviously it's not in the SEC. What sets the SEC apart from any other conference, in your opinion?
Well, I'm still kind of new to the SEC as well, so again my first job as a coach and switching over to the SEC, it can take a lot out of you. But like I think one of the differences is just like how just like big it is, and how difficult some of the opponents can be. Like I've seen some of the highlights and some of the plays that they made. I'm just realized that wow, like like this conference is it can be very deep. There's some teams that are good, there's some teams that are great, and then there's teams just like man, like I didn't expect this to be that good. But I think in general it's just more fun to see and see them play.
And tell me about the atmosphere down there in Gainesville, and in the swamp. I've never been, but I know big LSU Florida rivalry. It's always crazy every year. I covered it back in 2021 whenever they came to Baton Rouge, and it was a crazy, crazy game. So tell me a little bit about Gainesville and what's it like, fan base and the atmosphere.
Well, as I said before, they're very passionate, especially when it comes to rivalry games. I know when I was trying to go there to the football game against the LSU Tigers, I could see a lot of fans like trying to tell me like, "Yo, you think they're gonna win? You think they're gonna win? They better win." I'm like, "Yeah. I don't know. Should be a good match." So definitely, they love their Gators, especially and when rivals come to town like LSU, Georgia, the atmosphere just hits a bit different because again, like when a rival comes to your town, you gotta show them like you want to be there. So the atmosphere was definitely a lot more intense, and definitely you can see that this game means a lot more to them than just your typical college game.
And what would you say is your favorite sport to cover with the University of Florida?
I would say basketball. I'm a big basketball fan myself, so I was really excited when basketball season was starting for the Florida Gators, and yeah, I just love seeing the game.
And what would you say thus far has been your biggest accomplishment in your career?
Oh man, already a difficult question like that. I don't know. It's still I'm still new into this field. I think I'm only like 6 months in, but I guess my biggest accomplishment would have to say me going live during the Orange Blue Spring game. I think that was the first time where I had to really come out of my shell and not read a script and just go with what I seen the game and what to talk on air. And that was an amazing experience for me too, because I really was appreciated and just honored to like try to go live for my station and do the best that I can. Because when it's your first year in a small station, you have to grow, level yourself up, and like having those kind of experiences can help level up. And just having that honor and blessing to be live, just I liked it.
And how has the journey been so far? I mean, you're brand new to the business. I know I'm about to be brand new to the business in a few months. So tell me, like, what's that been like for you as someone who is about to be in the same boat as you in a couple months?
I'm sorry, what was your question again? You kind of cut off there.
Oh, sorry. I was saying, you're new in the business. I'm about to be new in the business here in a few months. Tell me what your journey has been like so far. How has it been for you starting out in the TV business in the TV world?
Well, starting here at CBS4, I really had to gather context. People say Gainesville is a small town, yes, but it is a very busy town when it comes to sports because, if I'm being honest, here in North Central Florida, they love they love their football and high school football as well. It can be a lot. So the first task that my news director told me was to just gather context in all aspects of sports, and that was definitely challenging because when you just graduated from school, you had your context available for you. When your professor, like in my case, my professor like shows me the context. Here it is. You can find it at the website. But for us, starting out new in a small station, we had to like go and research, what high school, who's the athletic director, if he or she is still the athletic director, and just like call them, cold calling per se. It's not my greatest strength, but that's something I had to learn and grow from it. And that was like one of the things that I had to learn, was just, trying to just like get those contacts in. And although I do cover Florida sports, I also have to cover like, local high school sports too. So, all of that, it can be a lot for someone who's just coming in right after graduation. But I think because of that, because of me being put in the fire, it has helped me grow as a journalist. And of course, making my own segment, my own sports segment. People say like, wow, you did a great job, but who helped you? No one helped me. In my sports segment, I'm the one who's writing the scripts. I'm the one who's putting together videos, and I'm the one who's anchoring. It's fun, yeah, for sure, but it can also be very exhausting. Thankfully, I had a fellow sports reporter out there in my station who helped me from time to time. But in general, it's all been me trying to gather all of that. So it is definitely challenging. It can be very exhausting too. I think there's at one point where, I think it's before Thanksgiving, I was that week, it was like I was just so burnt out, and it made me realize that, wow, like I've hit the ceiling when it comes to sports, because I love talking about sports so much. I never thought I would get exhausted from it. But that week before Thanksgiving, I just realized that, yeah, I need a break, because it was a lot. Thankfully, again, it was Thanksgiving, so I had a holiday off, so I was able to recuperate and recover and just talk about sports again. But that week was when I realized that I needed time to relax and just take a break from sports. It didn't help the fact that the weather was kind of gloomy over there too. So yeah, but I guess my advice would be just like, be prepared to like, get context, get ready to go like beyond like Florida sports or like whatever like college sports that you're going to be into the field, because you never know what, path you're going to be set on when you get to that first job.
And, I think a big misconception about, the business that we're in is burnout. People think that, we're not doing a whole lot of work. We're just getting on TV and talking, but it's so much more than that. How do you manage that? How do you prevent burnout, or whenever you do feel burnt out, how you deal with that?
Well, I guess I would have to say like what I've been doing recently, just been reading, just reading some books I just think that are like just interesting stuff. Reading books, working out, obviously, and just some other things, just simple things. I think one of the things that people like to overlook is like, just sitting there and relaxing. People think that it's kind of a waste of time. I had some friends tell me that too, but honestly, I think it's so great to help you recover. Just sitting there, have a quiet atmosphere, just leave your phone silent, and just relax. Like it's never. You always have time for yourself, and if you don't, you gotta try to make time, because I've learned that like some time is very precious in your field, and if you don't have time to relax, this job's going to eat you alive, because like you need to have that mental strength, you need to have that mental recovery, because this job, I mean, sports is fun, but there are moments where, again, like you have shown that it can be very tiring. Like no one's invincible in this field. Like you can ask like the most well-known journalist out there, and he or she can tell you that yes, you need time to relax, you need time to recuperate, because no one's invincible here. So I think that's like just spending time to yourself, working out. For me personally, I just work out, read a book sometimes, and just take a break from sports. We love sports. You and I, yeah, I can tell you and I both love sports, but there are times we need to just chill for a bit.
And the markets are changing pretty fast in this business, and I know a lot of people graduating, they'll get top 100, top 60, 50 markets. How has being in a smaller market helped you grow over the last 6 months that you've been there, rather than starting in a larger market?
I think the growth, it just helps me, doing the things by myself. I think in some of my internships that I had, I was in those top, 30, 40, 50 markets. The journalists had help. They had like, someone helping out the behind the scenes, the videographer or photographer. They're always there to help them out. And they don't do much of like, I mean, they do, but like, if they need help, they have help. But in a small station like myself, I do have help from time to time. But if that person's busy, it's all on me. And most of the time she is busy. So I think being a small market, it helped me grow to like say, okay, you know, you can't rely on someone now. It's all on you. And you just have to go out there and do it. Like, and it can be, again, it can be exhausting, but you just you gotta go out there and do it. And I think it's very rewarding too, because it just shows that it's your work and your work alone, and you don't have anyone to say, "Oh, thank you," but yourself. When you see that those mid, wide, and tight shots, and then you pull it off so well, it's like, yes, I did that. Or like when you write a script and you say something was really good that your news director liked it, you can say, "Okay, I wrote that script," and it just shows that like over time, like being thrown in the fire, especially in sports, it can be very nerve-wracking and hard, but like once you get the hang of it, man, you'll see a lot of growth in yourself. And I think it's been helping me out with that in the small market field.
And if you had to draw up your perfect job, your ultimate career goal, tell me what that would be.
Ultimate career goal. Well, I would love to be a sideline reporter for the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a big, like I said, I'm a big basketball fan. I'm a Lakers fan too. So the dream job would be to be a sideline reporter for the Los Angeles Lakers. I would love that, but that is still a dream. I'm not there yet.
All right, so I'm getting ready to graduate soon, and you're not far removed from graduating yourself. So what advice would you have for anyone that's trying to get into the business and trying to be successful fresh out of school?
Now, is it in like the sports journalism or just journalism in general?
Sports journalism.
I guess like I would say to just keep applying. I had a couple of friends who were into sports journalism, but like when they applied and they didn't get the job that they want, they just, diverged into a different route. I would say just keep applying, just keep looking for it. It's never impossible not to find sports jobs. I know it's easier to say it because, you and I have seen it, like some of the markets, are kind of like moving away from sports and more into general news. But just keep applying. There has to be a station out there that is looking for a sports reporter. And when you do get into that field, just show them like your results and what you can do. I've learned that like a little thing that I've reporters.
So sorry.
You're good.
On my screen.
You're good.
All right, I'm sorry. You can continue.
You're good. So something I've seen out of sports reporters from I've been seeing is like they like to keep it fun. In general news, it can be very serious. But for sports, if you're on air, or just want to talk about something, just keep it casual and fun because that's what sports is all about. Of course, and there's always hard news in sports, but the general thing is always keep it fun, loose, not too loose, but to the point where it's like, oh yeah, you're just talking about sports to another sports lover, and what better way to talk about sports than just keep it casual? And I think that's one of the things that I think that people who are looking for sports journalism should like look into when like you're into that field. It's like you don't have to be like so general newsy because they like to see a sports guy who's casual but very factual and informative about sports. And I think that combination can help you stand above the rest.
All right, that was really helpful for me because I've been getting pretty discouraged. Sports jobs are very few and far between right now, and it's kind of discouraging for me that it's looking for a job. I do have time though. I graduate in August, so I have a little bit of time. So that was really helpful. It kind of gave me a little bit of hope that something will be out there.
That's good. Yeah, never don't ever give up hope. I know, like for me, like during that time, I think when COVID hit at the peak of COVID, I didn't have a single internship at all. And that year I was banking on that year to help me get some experience. And when that didn't hit, I was just like, oh man, maybe I should just give up on journalism. But like an email came in for a general news internship, and he's like, it's remote, but you want to try it? I'm like, yes, I would love to try it. And that was like a snowball effect. I was able to get more internships. And because of that, I was able to, find a job here. So I'm pretty sure, like, you've been in internships as well, right?
Yes.
Or you're working with them. Yeah. So just like that, and also just connections. I think that is something very underrated in any professional like start. I think people always say connections are everything, but they never really actually apply to it. Because if I know you, you know me, cool, that's great. But sometimes people don't contact that person or that because like they just feel like, okay, I know this person, and that's it. You have to actually like go out there and email or call them saying, hey, listen, like, is there any way you can help me find a job, or just like, is there like any openings that you've seen? There's little things like that. Like you just gotta try and just keep on looking. It's tough, I know because I was in that position too, but I know you can do it. Like I mean, what is this for? Is this for a newscast or is it for your own personal thing?
I'm doing an independent study for my senior project. So
Yeah, so the fact that you're like, going out here just, scouring for sports reporters, talking about schools, I mean, that just shows that you're probably committed to like one of these sports reporters. So I think this is definitely something you can like probably put into your reel. I mean, like you started your reel if I'm being, forward with it. Yeah. So just something like that, just like do some research saying like I've been, you know, talking, emailing these other reporters. That I think that just shows also your level of commitment on wanting to like get the story done because you're emailing myself and other probably potential SEC reporters to talk about an episode on SEC schools. And I think that will also show that whoever news director you could apply to say, okay, this person is really, passionate about sports. Like she literally tried to email like so many, journalism, SEC journalists and just trying to like make something out of it. So that could be something you can put on your reel for this as well.
all right, well, thank you so much for joining us on Behind the Mic in the SEC. Tune in next week. We'll cover another SEC school.